I'm Jorge Gilbert. I belong to the National Institute of Agricultural Technology of Argentina. And the title of this note is Argentina does not produce biofuels from crops. Lately, I have given many talks and seminars and congresses exposing our experience of more than 10 years, evaluating agro-industrial chains and transformations, together with the main biorefineries companies in my country. In the exchange sessions and questions of these events, phrases linked to the impacts of crops are often repeated by directly attributing those impacts to the different biofuels we generate. Those questions inspired the title of this note. In the search of an attractive headline for journalists and media in order to focus their attention. Why the title? I like pure energy crops that are often considered environmentally friendly. Argentina does not have large crops dedicated to obtaining energy in its three forms, either gaseous, liquid or solid. In the case of liquid biofuels, co-products of very well established bioindustry linked to food productions are used. Mounted on this logic, real biorefineries were developed that continue to generate new and more valuable products from the same raw materials. I always say that to create a clear image in our interlocutor, we must know how to select very carefully the wording we use and how we express ourselves. This also applies in this case. It's very different to talk about soy oil biodiesel or corn starch bioethanol than simply saying soy biodiesel or corn bioethanol. In the first case, our listener is left thinking, if they use only the oil, if they use only the starch, what they do with the rest? Is the rest still in the food chain? In the second case, the automatic mind, makes a direct relationship between cultivation and the biofuels, between the crops and the biofuels. And if the person has preconceptions or concerns regarding the expansion or the intensification of the crop, he automatically assigns those concerns to the biofuels we are talking about. Argentina's biofuels are on a very high scale in sustainability levels, achieving emissions reductions of more than 70% on the benchmarks against the fossil fuels reference. Here it deserves to be clarified that unlike biofuels, where we measure with a magnifying glass every step, every process along the entire production chain of production and transformation, fossil fuels are not dealt in the same way. It's not the same an oil near the surface than shale oil or shale gas that need huge amounts of energy and investments to keep on producing. But this is not represented by the numbers. Throughout all these years, we have followed the important evolution of Argentine biorefineries, where processes were optimized, energy efficiency were increased, water use was reduced, and new products were incorporated into the production line. Incorporating new products impacts on the economic sustainability as new revenues are generated based on the same raw material, and new added value is generated managing to incorporate high quality employment throughout the whole country. Examples include pharmacopoeia glycerin in the case of soybean transformation by refineries, or the production of biogenic carbon dioxide generated by the fermentation of the cornstarch in the bioethanol plants. Having more products, the initial impact of the raw material is distributed among more participants of the chain, and therefore the numbers improve. Another example is the integration of technologies and in refineries, such as biogas and bioethanol working together in the same plant, or the use of biomass as an energy source for grinding plants, grain grinding plants and biorefineries. In those cases, the use of fossil oil in the transformation process is drastically reduced, and a phenomenon of circularity is promoted. This circular concept so popular in these times. We do it here in Argentina, and we continue to improve and integrate our productions. We historically had in Argentina successive emergence of new biofuels, and today the production of biodiesel and bioethanol is well established. But new players are preparing to be introduced into the market as the biomethane, that promises not only lower emissions but even negative impacts. This means that instead of contributing to emissions, these new fuels can achieve a reduction in emissions by its use. Our agribusiness and industry is in continuous process of innovation and investments. Therefore, the values we have now are only the baseline, and we continue improving in the environmental side. We hope that in the new biofuels law that is discussed in our country now, this will be taken into account, and also at the international level this is going to be taken into account in order to promote and enlarge the possibility of biofuels to get a bigger share in the energy market of the world.